I feel like I just want to cut out what you just said, where you said there will be football, and I'm gonna quote as that. That's what the medicine man says. Is there will be football, and I'm going with that.
You heard it here first.
BRB Blazer.
Dr. Fauci's bubble.
So
So-
first,
I know that's a funny headline, Dr. Fauci's bubble, but basically it's Dr. Anthony Fauci. He pretty much said that if the NFL wants to have a season this year, they're going to have a bubble or do it inside of a bubble, from my understanding. A couple representatives have come out and said, like, pretty much fuck off. Like, we're going to have a season. Like, who are you? But I just thought it was funny, Dr. Fauci's bubble. So, I mean, what do you guys think, though? Because me and Anthony were actually talking off air, and we were just kind of talking about how, I mean, say it's like week 4 or week 7, whatever. It could be week 10. All of a sudden, you have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, or something. They test positive for coronavirus, COVID-19. Like, what now? What is it like? What is the protocol of like how long they have to sit out? Like, are they going to be away from the team and stuff like that? Like, is that really going to impact teams like later on? Because I mean, like, it's kind of like players are going to test positive, you would think, but it's like, so what are the precautions? What are the protocols for that? You know?
Isn't it in the NBA? It's you had to wait 14 days. We saw that on ESPN. I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing in NFL. So it's going to come down to people are going to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's staying where it's at and there's no instant cure or miracle drug or something like that, people are going to get it. So this comes down to like a league decision where I think you're going to have to vote on something like expanded rosters and just give people an extra couple spots to draft their handcuffs for some of these big name running backs. Or with me and I was working with my brother today and we were talking about it, is maybe do it to where let's just say you have Ezekiel Elliott and he all of a sudden catches COVID. If no one owns Tony Pollard, the Ezekiel Elliott gets the first. He gets to pick him up basically free because it's
like dibs.
Like dibs on it. If he's already owned, you could say that's a different story. Or if like Dalvin Cook all of a sudden catches it, whoever he can pick up Alexander Madison, and it's like something that needs to be voted on before season starts. But I think you and your league mates need to come up with some type of protocol to kind of be ready for if a player all of a sudden gets COVID and is going to have to miss 14 days or 3 weeks, whatever it's going to be, to try and help kind of competitive balance it somehow or some way along that, because it's going to happen. Someone's going to catch it. We don't know the full protocols yet. Like I said, NBA, they're saying you got at least 14 days. No, you can't be around the team. So I'm going to assume NFL is probably going to follow the same rules. So it's getting a little tricky.
Yeah.
I was kind of even saying if this does get serious and players are going to miss it, I was even thinking of maybe making buy-ins less, because it would suck to have like a team and you have like a good team, but you have 4 of your players catch it and some other team gets nothing that gets it, and it's just you end up getting a screwed season because it's like, all right, well I had Zeke go down, and then I had DJ Moore go down, and then I had Robert Woods go down to Cody. Like someone might have 7 players go down and someone might have none.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like it's gonna get a little tricky with this potentially if like when we get closer to season. But I think we ultimately need to, in your league, discuss like a plan to be ready for it when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, well, Zeke did test positive for it, and I saw today too on ESPN, 14 of the Texans players tested positive too. So I don't know what's going on in Texas down there, but something's going on.
They even grow the Corona large.
I was gonna say, now you have to, when you're drafting, you have to look up like their immune system, like who's got a strong immune system. Like, dude, I'm getting fucking Dalvin. He hasn't been sick in real life in like 3 years.
Dalvin Cook's good, but he does not take his vitamins, and that's fucking. He's not on my roster.
It's like his joints and his bones are good, or they suck, but his immune system is strong.
Lacking vitamin D, bro.
No,
I was just thinking more of like it kind of just puts an emphasis on like trying to get your handcuffs in a sense too, because it's like, all right, if I get a Zeke or I get a Saquon, like you really want to go out and get those handcuffs. You know, you want to get a Tony Pollard, you want to get a Deion Lewis. You know, just make sure you're covering your ass, or like you're saying, maybe you can agree with your league. Just say, hey, like whoever you like, if you draft a running back, you know, one of these top tier running backs, like you're kind of, like you said, you're guaranteed to get that running back as your last pick, like to handcuff him, you know, and nobody can like snake him from you during the draft process, just to kind of cover your ass, because it is a difficult situation to, you know.
But I think you should also expand, depending on your league. If you already have like an 8-9-man bench, it's one thing. But some leagues I've played in only have 5-man benches. So if you're going to do that and add the handcuff in there, you got to expand the benches at least one spot, because it's like if you're holding Tony Pollard all year and only 4-man benches, it really does handicap your team, especially in a short bench team, but a short bench league.
For sure.
Yeah, I would say expanding it by like 2, like two bench spots, and that way you can take them and So
Yeah.
like a regular team.
Yeah, or you can do it like you guys can even you guys probably at home can even think of your own ways to come up about it. We're just throwing out some of them,
Yeah.
but it is interesting too. Like I said, 14 Texans players have it. What happens if in season that happens and 20 Texan players come down with it, or 20? Like, what are they just going to be like? All right, well, we can't play with the third of our roster this week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say from a football standpoint. That's going to be interesting if like they're going to have to test the whole team.
Yeah,
I feel
Like
like
if
for
one
sure,
player gets it, they're going to have to test everybody and then wait 2 days and then back. All right, let's see who's got it, who doesn't, and then be like, all right, you can play. You fucking stay away.
Yeah,
I feel like they're gonna do what they're gonna have, like instead of having 55 or 60 on the roster,
55,
55.
52, one of those.
I think they're gonna boost that up to like 80. You're gonna have like two full teams.
Jesus.
I feel like they would do something like that just in case, you know.
Only problem with
Yeah.
that is
Let
money
them.
if there's no fans, because they still got to pay
Right,
league minimum
that's a
to
good
30
point.
more players, which 600,000.
I mean, I'll
I
be
don't
the
know, that's a
80th player on that team.
Maybe not 80, maybe like 65.
I can see 65 though.
Okay.
I was kind of thinking about your point, Mike. I think it'll go up.
So let me ask you guys this. So Dr. Fauci, he pretty much is saying he doubts there's going to be a season. I think the NFL is kind of like they're in a weird situation compared to like hockey. Nice. Anthony over here just
Jesus.
trying to waterfall or something.
Never had water before.
But so yeah, like
Just fucking
football's in
went
a
all over
different
myself.
area compared to like hockey, baseball, and basketball. You know, like they were kind of coming out of the season in the off season. You know, while these other leagues are kind of like, you know, baseball is just about to start and hockey and basketball are pretty much just about to jump into the playoffs. So they kind of have like a grace period to kind of wait it out. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts? Do you think that there's going to be football? I mean, it's kind of how are you feeling about it?
I mean, they own a whole day for like 4 months. I feel like they're going to do whatever they can to figure it out. And
Yeah.
like you said, they have time still. Like the whole mini camp shit, that sucks. But as long as they can get something figured out by August, unless like, there's another big outbreak, I mean, I think they're going to try their hardest more than any other sport.
The
Just
Cardinals
because of how
might
much
affect
money they
someone
make.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Every week though, I get a little bit more nervous.
that's
Just-
where I'm at. I'm getting.
For sure, me too.
I was really confident about 2 weeks ago. Now I'm not as confident.
Yeah.
I also kind of wonder if baseball sets a tone for it. Like if MLB is just like fuck it, we're not doing this. Like if it almost like
Hope they don't follow suit kind of thing.
yeah, it almost like kind of like makes NFL like less prone to do it. If baseball figures out a way to get it done with the players and paying all that, maybe NFL is okay. They've got a structure. They're seeing it. It's working a little bit. Whatever's going on, I feel like that might. I could be wrong on this. This might just be kind of theorizing a little bit, but I feel like if baseball does it, it kind of helps NFL. If baseball doesn't, it might hurt NFL a little bit. It might be 5-10% chances lower, but I think it could go either way with that.
There's for sure going to be some owners that are like, dude, we're about to be the only sport on TV. We need to get this season going.
I know, right?
If
I
the
mean,
baseball
that's-
doesn't go.
Especially
Well, then they lose
man.
like $3 million. I read though if there's no fans, that's a lot of money.
For sure, yeah. I mean, one thing I can say is kind of positive. I saw the other day. I think it was New Zealand. They actually had the first live sporting event with actual fans there. And then I know like the Premier Soccer League, they actually came back and they started their season up. I don't think they had fans, but they actually like went out there and started the season. They resumed it. So, I mean, those are trending in the right direction. So, I mean, I guess if it kind of like the curve flattens and we don't have like a second wave, then we could see some
Hopefully.
football. But I mean, like I said, they kind of have like the benefit of the doubt of having extra time compared to like
For sure.
baseball and basketball. But
I was curious, like, because Dr. Fauci was just I don't know if you heard it, but Dr. Fauci was saying how he doesn't think the football season is going to start. What do you think? I mean, medicine man.
You know.
Good thing we didn't do this live.
We can't do them live until we get used to this.
Okay. You can call me Dr. Coochie.
Man, y'all
Yeah.
gotta get it together. Y'all gotta get
Okay,
it
well,
together.
come Dr. Coochie.
Man.
All right, start over.
Yeah, no, but what do you think though?
Now, I think that, like, with everyone, I don't know if you noticed, even, like, soccer leagues, like, they're all kind of, like, making kind of, like, a knockout season. Like, even MLS, like, NBA, MLS was like, first, we're not going to do this at all. And then all of a sudden now they're trying to make up some kind of group stage, like, knockout round. I feel like the NFL won't start on time. I think they're going to try and make do. So they'll try to make like some kind of knockout round with like a knockout stage, kind of like the World Cup stage. They're gonna try and do something, but I don't think it's gonna be a regular season.
With football, you don't think so?
No, I mean, especially with Arizona blowing up, it's like 3 times as worse as New York City was.
Yeah.
I just feel like
That's
I
not
just
what I
feel
want
like,
to hear.
I feel like like you said though, like what's going on in Texas? Like once one guy gets it, like pretty sure, a quarter of the team's going to have that as well, So, like, they can't just, like, be like, all right, Texas game just off this week, then pretty soon teams are going to be missing 3 or 4 games a season.
Damn.
So, I mean, I feel like, you were right about trying to expand the roster. Maybe they can expand the roster, but still, if they don't, quarantine the people right, like, it's just going to spread through the team.
Dang.
So what would be the protocol? Like, let's say week 4, someone gets tested positive. What's the protocol that, from your understanding, like 2 weeks, they'd have to stay away from the team?
Yeah, so they'll get the PCR test, so it's like the nose of the swab. I bet you they'll probably swab every player before every game, But then if you get positive, they'll do 2 weeks, I bet, and then they'll swab you again, and they'll make sure you're double negative. Like for work, like in the medical field, like we're getting swabbed every 2 weeks, and if we have to get double negative every time to make sure we can go back and work.
Okay.
So it could be longer than 2 weeks then, potentially, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it could be longer, right? So, like, some people could show up. So, like, sometimes they'll do, like, it's like kind of a range. Like, 14 to 21 days is, like, the range that they'll give out. So, they'll kind of make do. So, it could be 3 weeks for some players. So, like, you guys are talking about what to do, like, extra bench spots. You could also do, like, an extra IR spot, Maybe throw a player on IR if they end up being on IR for 3-4 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I like.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it is crazy because, like you said, if they test positive, then 2-3 weeks maybe. And what if you're like in the hunt, like barely trying to get into the playoffs of your fantasy league? It's like you lose one of your star players. I mean, that's pretty crucial.
Well, from an NFL standpoint, what if it's Pat Mahomes? It's like the Chiefs are going to be like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
Or maybe another thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can maybe like expand the playoffs. Maybe like, excuse me, if it's like a 6 team out of 12, make it like 8, or make it like maybe everyone makes it.
Yeah.
Some easy.
Yeah.
Dang. This could be an interesting season this year. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a normal season. I think they're going to try and there will be football, but I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will make a certain way. I mean, if every league has so far, except for the MLB, they'll figure it out.
I feel like I just want to cut out what you just said, where you said there will be football, and I'm going to quote as that. That's what the medicine man says, is there will be football, and I'm going with that.
You heard it here first.
Man, that clip was informative, huh? Well, there's plenty more right here if you click that. Also, go ahead and subscribe right there.